Welcome back to the AI Tech Talk channel. This is where we unpack the latest in tech and modern tools, trying to keep you right up to speed.
Yep, glad to be here.
Today, we're going deep on something really foundational if you're building software. It's the software testing lifecycle, or STLC.
Yes, the STLC.
Basically, think of it as the blueprint, maybe, the roadmap that helps make sure the software we all use actually, works properly.
That's a great way to put it. And understanding it isn't just for the testers, really. Anyone involved gets a much clearer view of how quality gets built in step by step.
Right.
It's all about having a systematic approach, starting right from the very beginning. The first stage is requirement analysis.
Okay, requirement analysis. So before anyone's even thinking about coding, the testing folks grab the project requirements.
Exactly. They dive into that requirements document.
And it's not just the obvious stuff, like this button should do that.
No. It covers the functional things, UI, APIs, how different parts connect, but also the non-functional side.
Like performance, how fast it runs.
Performance, usability, security, all that. Business requirements, too. It's really about understanding the full picture.
Okay. And I guess a common pitfall is maybe focusing too much on the features and kind of forgetting about how well it needs to perform.
That can definitely happen. You need to figure out the test conditions, what makes something pass or fail right at the start.
So you're asking those questions early. Like, sure, the login works, but does it respond in under 2 seconds? That kind of thing.
Precisely. And this usually means talking things through with developers, with business analysts, just ironing out any ambiguities.
Makes sense.
The key things you get out of this stage are a requirements analysis report and something called the Requirement Traceability Matrix, the RTM.
RTM sounds important.
It is. Think of it as a map. It links every single requirement to the specific tests we'll run later. It helps ensure nothing gets missed.
Got it. A way to track everything. Okay, so we've analyzed what needs to be built and tested. What's the next step on the map?
That leads us straight into test planning.
All right, planning.
So now we take everything we learned from the analysis and build a detailed test plan. It's our strategy document.
What goes into that? Is it just timelines?
Timelines are part of it, sure, but also the test strategy itself, the scope, what exactly is and isn't being tested, resource needs, people, tools, the test environment specifications, and definitely risk management, how we'll handle things if they go sideways.
So planning for problems, too.
Absolutely. You need clear objectives and clear pass-fail criteria defined here. The main outputs are the test plan document itself and a risk management plan.
Right, being prepared. Okay, plans in place. Then we move to test development. Sounds like where the actual tests get created.
You got it. This is where we design the specific test cases. Sometimes we write automated test scripts, too.
Okay.
We think through all the different conditions, outline the exact steps for each test procedure, and prepare any data we'll need.
So making sure every scenario gets covered.
That's the goal. We want to ensure all the functions are tested, different user paths are checked, and basically every requirement has test cases linked back to it via that RTM we mentioned.
Right, tying it all together.
And the deliverables here are those actual test cases, the scripts, maybe test data, other related materials.
Okay, instructions written. Now, where do we actually do the testing? We need a place, right?
Exactly. Which brings us to environment setup. This is critical.
Setting up the stage.
Pretty much. You need to configure and prepare the actual test environment. And ideally, it should mirror the final production environment as closely as possible.
Why is that so important?
Well, if your test environment is wildly different from where the software will actually run, your test results might not be accurate. You might miss bugs or find issues that aren't real problems in production.
Oh, okay. So it involves installing hardware, software.
Yep. Hardware, software, setting up networks, databases, making sure the test tools are ready, the data's loaded, all of that.
Seems like a lot of prep work.
It can be. We usually document the setup in a configuration file and run checks to make sure it's all correct, generating a verification report.
Makes sense. Get the environment right before you start. So environment's ready. Finally time for test execution.
Moment of truth. Yes, test execution. This is where the team actually runs the test based on the plan and the cases we developed.
Clicking buttons, running scripts.
All of that. And crucially, meticulously recording the results. Did it pass? Did it fail? If it failed, what happened? Any issues found, bugs, defects get reported.
And this covers different kinds of tests.
Oh, yeah. Functional testing, performance testing, security checks, regression testing to make sure fixes didn't break anything else.
Regression, right. Always important.
Definitely. The team analyzes the results, logs the bugs, and then works with the development team to get those issues resolved.
So lots of back and forth, potentially.
Often, yes. Key outputs here are things like the test execution reports, the actual problem reports or bug tickets, and detailed test result records.
Okay, so tests run, bugs logged, hopefully fixed.
Yeah.
Are we done then?
Almost. The final stage is test cycle closure.
Wrapping things up.
Exactly. You don't just stop. You summarize all the testing activities. You generate final, comprehensive test reports. These often include results from the final regression tests.
So a final summary of everything.
Right. And usually there are test review meetings. We look back. Did we meet the objectives we set out in the plan? What did we learn? How can we improve the process next time?
Continuous improvement baked in.
That's the idea. And, very importantly, we make absolutely sure that all the significant issues that were identified have actually been resolved and verified before we officially sign off on the testing phase.
So a confirmation that the fixes work.
Absolutely. The estimated outputs here are that final test report, maybe a test review report summarizing the meeting, and a final problem review report.
Wow. Okay, so it's really not just about finding bugs, is it? It's this entire structured process for ensuring quality from the very start right to the end.
Precisely. It's a disciplined cycle, and often it repeats, as new features are added or changes are made to the software.
Well, that really clarifies the whole STLC process. It's much more involved than maybe some people think. Hopefully, that gives you, our listeners, a solid foundation. Thanks for tuning into the AI Tech Talk channel today.
Yeah, thanks for listening. See you next time.